We roll on here on the Stinkin' Truth podcast all across the Odyssey Radio Network. Along with Mark Schlereth, I'm Mike Evans. NFL Network has their top 100 list that they're slowly going through. And you're already against the list because it includes quarterbacks.
Correct. Quarterbacks do not play football. They play quarterback, much like kickers and punters. So they are. There will never be a quarterback on my top 10 list.
All right.
Ever.
So you have come up with your top 10
football players,
football player list in the NFL. I'm very curious to see who made the stink cut.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I wanted to do is only guys that I've really studied and only guys that I've called games on in the last 3 or 4 years. So it's those guys that I went in and did a deep dive. A couple of years ago, I did a bunch of Detroit games, did a deep dive in Detroit, right? Then, and then a couple of at San Francisco. I've done a bunch of San Francisco games, a bunch of Los Angeles games, a bunch of different games. So I have tried to pick out the guys in my mind based on the study of the football players that I have done over the last 3 or 4 years that just jump off tape. They just they're rewindable moments, guys that you're just like, oh my God, that guy is great. And so I've got my Stinks top 10 NFL players going into 2026.
And there'll be no quarterbacks on this list.
Once again, quarterbacks do not play football. Quarterbacks play quarterback. If you want me to put out a top 10 quarterback list, I'll do it. I've got time. But I'm not doing it on my top 10 football list.
All right. It's your list. Your list, your rules.
Number 10. Love watching this dude play. Love talking to this dude. He is energy, and he is a guy that plays multiple positions. I'm talking about playing nickel corner, playing safety, playing dime linebacker. This guy is all over the place, just all over the place. And he's one of those guys, to me, that has become a blueprint for what you want at that position. And every team wants to find this guy. That dude, Chargers, Derwin James. Phenomenal football player, just phenomenal. And all the different things he does, the versatility. I mean, he'll blitz you off the edge. He'll be a pass rusher. He'll literally line up at defensive end. And then he'll be a linebacker. And then he'll be a corner outside, then he'll be a nickel corner, then he'll be a safety in the middle of the field playing post. He is all over the place. Swiss Army knife, Derwin James, and I think he's one of the guys, to me, over the last 8 years or so, that has really redefined the position. Every team is looking for that guy. Every team needs that guy. And when you have that guy, the benefit of that guy is he allows you to play nickel and dime to people's base because he's just that good a player. So Derwin James.
Strong start.
10.
Strong start.
Okay, number 9, I love watching this dude play. Comes from an unbelievable family of just exceptional football players. TJ Watt. Probably should have him higher, but that's just kind of where he fell when I was kind of doodling this out last night. TJ Watt is a dude that every time you break the huddle, you got to figure out where that guy is. Plays exceptionally hard, unbelievable, not only from upfield, getting you with speed, but also his counter moves, getting back inside. But I think he's one of those guys that's just a complete player. I think he'll play the run. I think he'll do everything for you as a football player. So TJ Watt of the Pittsburgh Steelers, to me, great top 10 player in this league, a guy that every time you put him on film, he just explodes and makes plays. All right. Number 8, I decided I had to have a running back on this list.
Oh, gee, thanks.
And, well, I mean, it's not my fault that the league has devalued running backs. I haven't. And I really thought about Derrick Henry because I think he's one of those intimidating, play. I think a lot of people don't want to play Derrick Henry. Like, his combination of strength and size and just breakaway speed, like when all of a sudden a dude breaks through the line of scrimmage in Baltimore and Derrick Henry's got the ball and you're a little DB that weighs 190 pounds and he's 250 and he outruns you, that's embarrassing. But then when you try to, physical up and get down he just runs your ass over.
Right.
That's embarrassing. Like, he's a nightmare. But I didn't go with him. And I know Bijan Robinson is a great player, and I understand all that. But I think just tremendous. Gibbs with Detroit, phenomenal. But there's one dude that recently got 2,000 yards. And I think that guy's ability to jump cut, the ability to do the things he does in Philadelphia, the season he had 2 years ago, even last season was, even though they were down, still really good. I'm going Saquon Barkley. I just think he's special. I think he's special. So I decided Saquon Barkley of the Philadelphia Eagles.
And you got to figure with A.J. Brown moving on, right? Don't you think you're going to see a really return to featuring Saquon Barkley even more than what happened last year?
I think what you have to look at is Jalen Hurts. Hey, do you want to continue kind of trying to be the focal point, or you want to win football games? And so for them to win football games, to me, it all has to go through Saquon Barkley, go through either your passing game's got to be kind of spread empty, because that's what Jalen Hurts does the best, or you got to get into the to the zone read stuff. You got to get into the play action off of that stuff. So I think Saquon Barkley is going to be a big time player there. Number 7 for me, the Baltimore Ravens, Kyle Hamilton. Much in the same vein as Derwin James, outside corner, nickel corner, safety, linebacker, blitz guy, all over the football field, lines up all over the place, and is just a playmaking Jesse, man. That dude makes plays like no other player in this league, and he is must-watch. Like, do yourself a favor. You watch a Baltimore game defensively, just watch that dude. Watch where he is. And he's one of those guys that can play those multiple positions. And again, like I said about Derwin James, gives you the opportunity to match your nickel stuff to base because he is so good all over the place. And he plays multiple positions. Matter of fact, I had a statistic because I went through this next-gen deal. And when he was playing linebacker, the Baltimore Ravens gave up a yard less per carry than he was playing back at safety. Like, his ability to snake through the line of scrimmage, to take on blocks, to make tackles in the backfield, he's just exceptional. He's just got such a great feel and a great kind of acumen for how to play the game.
When you talk about both him and Derwin James and all the different positions they play, I'm just thinking about what a stress that must place on a defensive coordinator and a defense, because you have to prepare for, okay, what does he do when he's in this role? What does he do when he's in that role? How does the overall defense react when he's in this role or that role? I mean, you talk about a force multiplier.
Right. And when you break a huddle, like normally when you break a huddle, you're looking for pass rushers, right? How are we gonna contain this guy? So there's two things offensive coordinators like to do. They like to use a bunch of motions and shifts to try to get a tell between man and zone. And then you got to use those motion and shifts also to get a tell between who's blitzing. And when you break the huddle and you're playing the Baltimore Ravens, you not only got to find that first level defender, but then you got to search for the second level defender that is Kyle Hamilton. Go, okay, now that we figured out who their best pass rushers are and how we're going to take, now how do we deal with that guy? And do we stay away from that guy? Do we attack that guy? Like, it's a really interesting chess match, and he plays from so many different positions. The other thing that happens is you get in trouble designating what you want to do, how you want to turn a protection. And then you get into the communication issues. The O-line calls it one way. The quarterback goes, no, let's go back over here. It just makes it a very difficult matchup.
All right, now we're up to number 6 on Stink's top 10 football players. No quarterbacks, just top 10 football players in the NFL. Number 6.
One of the guys I've loved watching this guy grow. I've loved watching him when he came in, what he was to what he is now. Trey McBride, tight end from Arizona. You want to talk about the number one focal point every weekend, Trey McBride. And, when he first came in the league, he wasn't a polished blocker or even I'll say he was a willing participant, but he wasn't great. Dude has become really good in the run game, really good on the end of the line of scrimmage as a tight end, but he's become a guy that's just uncoverable. And route running ability, catching screens and bubble screens, going deep, you name it. There is nothing this guy cannot do, and he is your number one focal point on a team that, let's face it, is not very good and still producing 1,000 yards and 100 catches. So Trey McBride becomes my number 6 player. I think he's become the best tight end in football. Okay? Number 5. You ready? Puka Nacua.
I was wondering if you were going to put a wide receiver in this top 10. You're so anti-wide receiver.
It goes against everything that I believe when it comes to football. But Puka is just so unique because Puka plays outside. He plays in the slot. But Puka is also a focal point of their run game.
Yep.
And I think you really learned this playing obviously for my former teammate, Eric Yarber is their wide receiver coach, who does a great job of making sure all these guys, are willing participants when it comes to blocking and stuff. But Puka, much like Cooper Kupp, plays not only wide receiver, but he also plays kind of tight end. And he is a focal point in the run game, and they use him in a tight end motion position. And so he's just phenomenal in that. And then I don't know that I have watched a guy who gives his quarterback more confidence to throw it into unopened windows. When you watch Matthew Stafford connect with Puka Nacua, watch how many times there is zero window to throw it in. And Matthew Stafford just goes, screw it.
Yep.
I'm throwing it to this guy. And it is, it is like throwing it into a milk carton. I mean, it's like the tiniest windows available. And that guy in Puka Nacua probably makes more contested catches than anybody I watch in football. I think he's a phenomenal blocker. I think he'll play wide receiver for you, F receiver for you in the slot. He'll play tight end for you in the blocking game and the running game, and he'll make the toughest catches you ever watch week in and week out. So Puka Nacua, my number 5. Right, you ready?
Yep, number 4.
Number 4, Pat Surtain.
I was hoping he was going to make this list.
Yeah, Pat is. I played against his father, and he's just a phenomenal football player. Week in, week out, smart, understands the game, is tall, can run, is physical, will tackle you. That is a guy that they put in lock on one side of the ball, one side of the football field, and say, hey, man, we're going to kick coverage away from you. You go ahead and take this thing. You go ahead and do this thing. He's just a phenomenal football player. So Pat Surtain, number 4. Number 3, and I'll never forget asking Dan Campbell about this guy. I said, what do you think about this guy? He goes, bar none, without question, the best football player on our team. And you're like, wait a minute, you guys got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's great. You got Gibbs, who's great. You got Montgomery, who's great. You got, on and on and on it goes. Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell is a freak show player, unbelievably athletic, unbelievably talented, strong, everything else. Just a lockdown guy, has been since he came in at the right tackle, going to move over left tackle, and he's done it before due to injury and played exceptionally well there. Penei Sewell. All right. I'm going to skip number 2 for now.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to go to number 1.
Ooh, intriguing.
Okay. So my number 1 player in the National Football League, Myles Garrett. Guy's a absolute freak show. I mean, you led the league, obviously set a new record for sacks, is getting double teamed and triple teamed on every play, still finds a way to get to the quarterback. He is physically unbelievably gifted. His core from here to here is so strong and so flexible. The stuff that he does on a football field, it just is, it's eye-popping. Okay, it is eye-popping. So he's my number 1 player in the National Football League. My number 2 player in the National Football League, and he doesn't even play in the National Football League, Aaron Donald.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Donald.
This makes sense.
Okay, part of this is wish casting.
Yes.
I'm just wishing and hoping that he
Speaking
comes
it
back.
into existence,
Right.
yes.
I'm hoping that he comes back and plays again after a couple-year hiatus, because I was watching this is how sick I am. I was watching some Aaron Donald film just the other day, and I'm like, this dude is a freak show among all freak shows. And to watch those two play together, play side by side on the Rams defensive line this year would be a nightmare for any offensive lineman, and it would give me diarrhea. There's no question. Just watching it.
As an offensive player, offensive lineman.
It would just give me diarrhea watching it because, and I don't even have to play.
Right.
But what a freaking treat that would be. It would be the most amazing thing to see that happen. So Aaron Donald, although he does not play right now currently, I believe that I'm hoping and wishing that he does play, and he becomes my number 2 player in the National Football
Not
League.
a bad top 10 list. If you feel that Mark left somebody out and you want to make a strong case for who should be in his top 10, please let us know. We love getting your feedback. Speaking of feedback,
Yes.
coming up next, it's the most popular part. I mean, this was really good, but it still remains the most popular part of the Stinky Truth podcast, and that is question mark, your questions for Mark, coming up next all across the Odyssey Radio Network. Welcome back to...